You are tuned in to What Up Baltimore online radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this channel are of the host and not of LadyJ Media. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What Up Baltimore TV. And if you really don't want to miss any of the shows, hit that notification bell and you'll get a message every time we come on. Now, we got it from here, so sit back, relax, and stay tuned. Y'all ready? Let's go. Nobody that was watching, I hope y'all ain't stressing out, because when we all get off the camera, we done forgot it.
Shit, I'm going to go eat.
I'm about to go have dinner.
I heard somebody call me one night after the show. They was like, LadyJ, are you okay? And I'm trying to think, what happened? And they were talking about the show because people were going on for the show. I had totally forgotten about it. I'm laying across the bed watching the movie. This is what this show is about. We just come on here, we have fun, we chop it up, we have fun. We can argue and fuss about what's going on in Memphis, New York, California, all these other places, but we got children, blood on the street. We had 2 babies shot over the weekend. Their mother just passed away. Where is the protest?
We're not gonna have a protest about that because we don't see. Here's the thing.
How do you close the door? How do you close the door?
You real quick. Baltimore is a city that has been broken down, but generation after generation after generation. We have allowed folks that look like us, that's supposed to be about our business, to treat us worse than other folks that don't look like us. We have gotten to the point where we are desensitized. We do not value you, me, the next door neighbor, or anybody else. That is why, follow me on this one. That is why we will have a protest for somebody else that got killed by an officer or by Mickey Mouse across the country before we have a protest about somebody right here, because the nigga right here don't matter.
Everybody, welcome to What Up Baltimore. My name is Dr. LadyJ. Tonight is a special night because we have someone on the phone. His name is Joseph, and he is serving a life sentence. And so, as you know, we've been going down to Annapolis and almost twice a week. This week, we're only going to be down there once, and we'll be down there on Thursday. And actually, what we're going down to lobby about on Thursday actually pertains to the brother that's on the phone. So, every Monday, instead of doing our usual What Up Baltimore, we're actually focusing on those who are incarcerated and those who are out. And so I have two great men on the screen today. Tonight we have Mr. Tyrone Little, we have Mr. Salim. They're going to tell you about their stories as well. But before we get started, I just want to make sure, and we have Miss Leah. Sorry, Miss Leah, I forgot about Miss Leah. She's going to tell you who she is also. And we can't forget the wife. We can't forget Mrs. Little that's sitting on the screen as well. So we want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. Thank you to those of you who are joining us, and for those who have been joining week after week. Make sure that you share this video. This is so important because I do get a lot of flack sometimes for focusing on those who are incarcerated, but this is my passion, so I can do what I want to do. And this is what I choose to do. And I think that we all have to understand that there are some people who are incarcerated who are not supposed to be there. And there are different things. If you would pay attention to what we've been fighting for as we go down to Annapolis, you would really understand the importance of what we're doing here on Monday nights. So our Monday night shows will be focused on those who are incarcerated, talking to families, talking to victims as well. If you like to come on, it's open. The way we do this is we talk like we are in my house, and we just have a conversation. So Joseph, you're there, right?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay, I want to make sure that we get Joseph in. Welcome to What Up Baltimore. I want to say thank you to Gabrielle, your wife, who reached out to me and she asked if you could come on, and of course, and if there's anybody else out there and you would like to come on the show, all you have to do, oh, let me put the number up. All you have to do is call this number or text me, and absolutely we'll get you on and we will talk to you. So Joseph, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I'm going to come to my guest on the screen, but tell us a little bit about yourself and what's going on with you.
Oh, okay. My name is Joseph Evans. I'm 36 years old. I'm currently incarcerated at Jessup Correctional Institution. I'm sentenced to life plus 20 years for felony murder. This is one of the bills that they have legislation going for them this year, which is House Bill 1180, and it's called the Youth Accountability and Safety Act. And they have a cross-reference bill in the Senate, which is Senate Bill 850, and it also is called the Youth Accountability and Safety Act. What this bill does is it addresses the issue that we have here with felony murder in the state of Maryland. So if anybody doesn't know what felony murder is, I will briefly give you an example of what felony murder is before we start the conversation. Felony murder is a murder, an accidental death that's committed during a felony. So an example of that, you have a 20-year-old boy who's at a party with friends. They learned together that they wanted to go rob a local drug dealer. He lends them his car and then goes to sleep after giving them his keys. A person is accidentally killed during that robbery. The 20-year-old is charged not as an accessory to the robbery, but with the murder of the person who died during that robbery. The 20-year-old gets convicted of felony murder. He is sentenced to life in prison. And that's felony murder in Maryland, a murder that's committed during the commission of a felony. You don't have to be the one that commits the murder. You don't have to have the intent to murder. Only thing you have to be is present. Only thing you have to be is a co-conspirator, so to speak. Just participate in the underlying felony. Whether the death is planned or not, once the death happens, everybody is held accountable for the death. And that's felony murder in Maryland. And that's the charge that I'm sitting on. I'm serving life plus 20. I got locked up when I was 20 years old. So I fit the criteria of this bill. And what the bill does is the bill is abolishing felony murder for those who committed this crime or convicted of this crime when they was under the age of 25. The brain science from the Supreme Court states that one cannot be culpable of first-degree murder at such a young age because the brain is not fully developed, as we know. So felony murder allows for one to be convicted of another person's act. So if one can't be culpable for their own act, then how is it possible to be culpable for someone else's act? But that's what felony murder is in Maryland. And we need as much support as we can get around this bill. Like I said, the hearing is held March 2nd at 1 p.m. We would like all the people that's listening, the viewers, the listeners, if we can get some support behind it, to go to your Maryland General Assembly website, create an account, basically sign up under the witness sign up. You'll go to the bottom of the page, confirm it, and you will get a confirmation to your email. And from there, you would just go on and click onto the bill, and you will vote favorable with amendments. The way that the bill is written now is currently written prospective. That means that the state or the legislator who is sponsoring the bill is saying that they are abolishing felony murder. However, this is prospective, that it doesn't affect the ones who has already done time. So for a bill or for a law to be unjust, unconstitutional, or perhaps even disingenuous with Maryland's law, for you to say that it shouldn't apply to the ones who have done harm to, I think it's kind of harsh. It's bad enough that you have hundreds of men and women here serving life sentences that did not pull the trigger, that did not kill anyone, that did not stab anyone, that did not rape or burglarize anything. Like the example I gave you, where the brother was asleep and he lent someone his keys, and he woke up to life in prison for a murder that he did not do. But felony murder and murder allows for that to happen, and it has affected so many men and women here in the state. And the sad part about it is Maryland has 212. My numbers may be off, maybe 2,225 or 2,212. I'm not exactly sure, but 80% of them are black, and I'm sure about that. Mm-hmm. And Maryland leads the nation in incarceration when it comes to black youth age 18 to 24, and this is proven. Mm-hmm. So we're just trying to get some support, try to help. We have a progressive governor. We have majority House, majority Senate. We We have supermajority. So I think we need to start getting the state going in the right direction to try to fix some of these wrongs and some of these laws that has been so corrupt and affecting so many of our young black men and women for decades and decades. You have people here that's been locked up for 40, 50 years for felony murder right now who I talk to on a daily basis that did not pull the trigger. They've been here for 50 years. That's a half of a century. That's wrong. That's injustice.
Wow.
And that's what this bill is for. So we just need the support. We need to get the support around.
And how long have you been there?
I've been here for 16 and a half years.
Okay, 16 or 15?
16.
16 and a half years.
Also,
okay.
Yes, ma'am. Also for a felony murder conviction where I was acquitted of doing the actual killing. I was acquitted of first-degree murder. And I was also acquitted of the only sole underlying felony that I was charged with was armed robbery. I was found not guilty of participating in the robbery as well, but I was still convicted of felony murder. And I was acquitted of all the conspiracies to rob, conspiracy to murder. I was acquitted of everything except for felony murder.
Wow. Did you have an attorney? Did you have a public defender, or you paid an attorney?
No, ma'am. I had a paid attorney from the office of Daniel Palumbo. His name was Michael Lovelace. And we actually paid him $52,000 at trial.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I have some gentlemen. Do you know Mr. Tyrone Little? We got Mr. Salim on here. I know Mr. Tyrone said they used to call they call him Yaya. Y'all might know each other. And we have Miss Leah Green is on here. So I'm going to have them unmute their mics so they can speak to you, because I want you all to talk to each other. So, gentlemen, I don't know who wants to go first.
Well, first of all, Joseph, I want to say, man, you got a biblical name, and it let me know that you really on top of your homework, man, as far as your presentations and all was concerned. And as early as the day, I was reading some of the materials that you have referenced as far as the Supreme Court is concerned. But let me start off, man. How you feel? How's everything? Take a stretch or balance up. What's going on with you? Let's start there first. I understand that, I understand your heart-to-heart talk. That's what I'm saying, in other words, right? I know what you struggled about, man. I stayed incarcerated myself for 38 years. And I know what your struggle is about. I know what you experiencing in that regard, right? But just feeling yourself, period. How you feel, bro? You okay?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fair. I'm never okay. I'm never good.
I got you.
Lately, I think this has been the hardest part of my sentence over the 16 years.
Right.
And it's definitely it's been the hardest part for me.
Absolutely.
It's like you do so much good, and you don't receive anything by way of relief when it comes to the prison sentence. It's like, what is the good for? But I believe in the law, and I know that something is coming for me. Because they say, which favor of your Lord will you deny? So I try to take advantage of everything around me. I'm the lead peer here in the largest peer-ran program in the state of Maryland in DPSCS history. And it's called Certified Peer Recovery Specialist. I'm the lead peer there. It was created by Secretary Robert Green himself, Secretary Tiffany Robbins from the Department of Labor, and Robin Ricketts from the Opioid Operation Command Center at the governor's office. I was nominated lead peer in the program. I got 2 college degrees. I created my own youth program that's ran in North Branch Correctional Institution. I'm also the founder of one. It's called NITS, Men in Transition Towards Success. And the other one is called YIELD, Youth Illustrating Effective Leadership Development. They're cognitive-based programs. They were designed to address the rational emotive behavior therapy when it comes to one's belief, how it's tied to their actions and attitudes, which make us act out. To give you an example, you know how you see somebody do something, you're like, that bothers you. What somebody else do bothers you. That's because of some type of belief that you have about it. So
beautiful. I just wanted to get a feel of that too before I say what I had to say, and then pass it on to my brother Salim. Okay, so I was attending. I just want to share this bit of information. Some of the legal stuff that you mentioned, as far as the Supreme Court decision in terms of sentencing juveniles to life or death penalties and stuff like that as well. I had the opportunity to go to a hearing, John Martin's hearing. He was just recently released after serving, I think, 42 years or some time. And one of the things that the prosecutor did was made the Supreme Court decision very vivid. And that is that when the Supreme Justices was talking about the state of mind, dealing with neurobiological and all that stuff, we ain't got to talk about that part. But what they said is that it affected people from the age of being a juvenile, as they classified one, all the way up to the age of 25. Because the brain is still going through different developmental stages. The brain is not formally developed. I know Dr. J can speak to this and other people on speak to this without drawing it out, but that's what it is. So they used that as a basis of releasing him. And she spoke on behalf of that, meaning that, I see the change in you when you're talking. I mean, I see it, I hear it, all that you're doing, man, all the positive things you're doing and creating your programs, because now you tapped into yourself. You're studying you and you're making good life changes. And so that's very important. But the Supreme Court decision is going to eventually be applied in retroactive ways. Now, I know that this bill is a prospective bill, and that's saying that it's not rooted in the origins of the Constitution, where they believe it reached magnitude Constitution to reverse and make it retroactively what you're saying. But the Supreme Court decision is starting to filter into criminal cases that's going to make it retroactive when you presenting arguments to the court about your state of mind and the things that you've done and the things that you've changed in doing. Your life changed. Your brain is not the same. You're a mature individual. You got good ideas. You got good concepts. And so as time move on, there is a big ray of hope for you getting out in terms of being in that age line, in terms of being at age range when these crimes was committed. And so the judge used that in John Martin's case. The 3-judge panel used that in his case. The prosecutor spoke to the heart of it and talked about the different parts of the brain and how it affected. And then also me just reading as early as today also on the effects that incarceration have on guys that's going young like that. It's like you taking an adolescent and putting them in an adult population with people minds that are really not together. We know that, we see it, we know what's going on inside that. And each day you're waking up to a situation, man, that's still rooted in criminalistic behaviors, still rooted in all types of destructive, diabolical behaviors. So you don't know what you may wake up to, but you know what your mind is about, and you know what you're building on, and you know what you're doing. So everything that you're doing, brother, you keep doing it, man, because I hear it in you, man, and I can't see you, but I definitely can feel it. Everything you're saying is accurate, man. It's beautiful. You're very articulate. You express yourself well, and just keep doing all of those positive things, man, even though you're inundated with dehumanization, violence, and all this other crap every day. You just don't know what may go on in the prison reality. You come out, you don't know what's going on. But just stay alert and keep doing everything that you're doing, because, man, you're right on the right path, man.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that.
And Mr. Let me get my chair right over here. Let me get myself together. Mr. Tyrone, can you tell us a little bit about you before we go to Mr. Salim? Tell us a little bit about you.
Yes, man. Well, I've always I was really smiling on inside when I was speaking to Joseph earlier, because that was the type of journey that I took. I was sentenced to life in prison, and then I went in the prison system, and I caught a homicide while I was in prison, because someone tried to approach me inappropriately. And so I caught a homicide while I was in prison, Joseph and everybody. And so I was able to work my way to just getting 25 years from that, running concurrent with the life sentence that I was sentenced for murder. And so I knew right then and there, when I was in solitary confinement, sentenced to solitary confinement for so many years, that I had to really discover myself. I had to really go inside myself and make some life choices. I was faced the death penalty. I went up to the death penalty, uh, stayed on death row for a minute, stayed in solitary confinement for many years. And so, I recall one day I picked up a book. It was on the guy was sweeping it up on the tier, and I said, "Man, let me see that book, slow, small book." And it was by Dr. Lane. And in this book, Dr. Lane was saying, is it possible to be in an abnormal environment, yet the behavior is normal? Is that possible? And I'm saying I'm inundated now with all of these pathological behaviors and stuff, people slinging, people doing all types of dehumanizing things. And I question myself about that one statement, because what they were doing seemed and appeared to be normal to them, yet so abnormal to me. And so when the officer come past the cell one day, I said, "Man, is it possible you can get me from back here?" He said, "Why you want to get back from here?" He said, "I said, man, they throwing defecation, they doing this, right, blah, blah, blah." He said, "Well, you said they crazy. How you know you ain't crazy? You ain't the only one that ain't doing it." So you have to really want to change. You have to really want to change. You can't be playing about it, because the mind don't operate like that. So my journey started right there. Right there. That's where my journey started. I studied the dictionary. I'm pretty good with words. I had classes in the old penitentiary, taught words. I was a Muslim. I was an imam. I was minister, all of the titles that my brother also may have held. And so I embarked on a path of knowledge and education. I have acquired 2 bachelor's degrees, and also have my master's degree, and I'm also considering my PhD degree at Morgan State University. And so I believe that the basis, of change is like I'm a reentry specialist for a youth advocacy program. I'm a national recruitment specialist for a GAP program. And I travel and train directors in, I'm the president of my own program at Coppin State University, Jumpstart Opportunity Builders Guide Incorporated, a program designed specifically to focus on bringing all the people together under one umbrella and talking about different strategies and techniques that we can use to better improve and enhance our traumatic or our TRC skills in serving a population that's in bad need of these things. And I try to, with all my might and main, organize all the grassroots organizations under one umbrella, as I attempted to do with Dr. T and Dr. Humphreys, having a gathering with them and talking about those things and building on those type of things. It's still in the embryonic stage, but it started. So when I reflect back on me, all the pain and hurt that I caused my mother, coming from a family that really loved me, but yet I'm so traumatized by adverse childhood experiences, not realizing, thinking I know it all, and being impulsive and participating in activities that I knew was going to ultimately land me in prison. And reflecting now on who I am now, I don't let that bother me. I just say to myself, thought is the cause of it all. And if you think a certain way, you're going to be a certain way. And that's going to affect every process in your existence. So in doing what I do, just one more thing, I've developed a biopsychosocial module based on cognitive behavioral therapy that deals with cognitive behavioral therapies. I believe and have copious evidence to prove that behaviors of this nature is rooted in cognitive distortions. We believe in what we believe. There's a lack of information sometimes. We don't understand the full picture, but we make judgments and decisions. And we make those judgments and those decisions is acting from inaccurate information. And that inaccuracy is going to basically affect how you see reality, how you adapt, and how you relate to people, your social interactions, and how you relate to yourself. So talk therapy is what we need. When we come together like this, we helping each other. I can't do nothing by myself. I love my people, man. And so when we come together, we talk like this. When we talk like this, that's our healing. That's our healing right there. Because I'm gonna lend something that I know can help you, and you gonna lend something that's gonna help me. And that's why I say to Joseph, man, Joseph is on the right path. This man is articulating. He got a lot of stuff that's going on. He's doing remarkable things, man. And when he was talking, it made me remind me of myself. Because I know he want to change. And I know he's serious about change. And I know that he's going to make good things happen when he comes into the community. And so, you know, sharing my story with his story, in that regard, it's almost similar. Although we walk different paths and we have different experiential things that make up our own personal life experience, we do share some commonalities.
Thank you for that story. That's amazing. And when I met you, I said, when you said during the meeting, and then you were talking for a while, and you said something like, you know, well, I spent 38 years in prison. I almost fell off the chair because I was like, wow, you know, just to see what you have done with your life is absolutely amazing, and you are actually a blessing and an inspiration to people like Joseph, and that's why I wanted to have you on tonight.
I could have stood up without that pillow there now. I mean, really,
Oh, I
I'd
know,
have been fell all the time. Yeah, I couldn't have did that.
I gotta have her. Yeah, I gotta have her on too because I gotta get her to
Right.
talk to the women. I have to get her to
Yes,
talk
ma'am.
to the women. But Joseph, is there anything you wanted to say to Mr. Tyrone?
Yeah, man. I mean, I like his story. It seems like it's something that I would love to emulate. You know, to make it, to actually make it through this process. You know, and to be found in the state of mind that he's in, and doing so many inspirational things.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I desire to do. You know, and with the youth advocacy and things like that, that's my goal. You know, that's what I dream of. You know, because it seems like when we young, you know, we get caught up in these neighborhoods and this trauma and all the things that he was just speaking about. You be misled so much so that you have friends by default.
Right.
And I think that's where the problem of the lifestyle of criminality. I think that's where we embrace it at in them early stages.
Absolutely.
So I think that what he's doing is excellent. And I think that if we can get to them youth early, in them early stages, I think that's what we need to be, them adolescents.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Because, you know, mine wasn't spent to this phone about to hang up. I'm at the call right back.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. We'll be here.
All right.
We have another gentleman. We have another gentleman, Mr. Salim. I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. We have a gentleman that's calling in from another institution. Are you still? Let me see. Let me make sure he's still there. Derriere, are you still there? Hello? You still? Okay. So we have Derriere Green. You go ahead and say whatever you want to say. We have Miss Leah on here. We got Mr. Salim, who was incarcerated before. And we also, could you hear what they were saying?
Not too clearly, but I heard it go. I'm going to try. It's so low.
Okay.
The background so loud.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, go ahead and share with us what you want to. Where are you at currently?
I'm still trying to put the motion together as far as in front of the court. My whole thing is like saying that.
Okay.
Hello. We're at a time now that we got a lot of black people in power right now, and it seems so sad that hey, Gabby, I can't really hear him. My thing is this. I know everybody say innocent is wrong. My whole thing is
So you can bail.
Yeah, you can.
Police. He took another name. He gave me a name, and I'm sitting there telling the court they can't hold me back. Because I see them, my lawyers trying to throw me and swipe me out for you have a little like prosecute you.
We can't hear.
Can you all hear him?
No, I can't really hear.
Okay. Daria, are you able to speak up a little louder? Or I know he's calling through his wife's phone.
In the background, Doc. It's real loud where he is. Hagerstown. It's real loud in the background.
Oh, it's loud where he is.
Loud. In a record, it's loud too. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna hear him too clearly.
Uh-huh. Go ahead. Let me see if I can hold. I'm going to try to hold the phone over to the speaker. So let's try it again. He's in Hagerstown, everybody. And he
Which one?
basically, what's the facility in Hagerstown called, Daria?
The old jail. The old jail.
He said the old
jail.
MCIA. So basically,
there's a lot of noise in the rec room. That's what it is. It's rec time, so everybody in the rec room, so everybody talking. There's a lot of noise, and he's screaming. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and he is saying what he's saying. What he was saying is that he's been incarcerated for a crime that he didn't commit, and they have already said that he didn't commit the crime, but he's still behind bars.
Wow.
Yes.
So I mean, we did march, we talked to people out there, the governor, at the same time, write them again. They may write things again. So I'm just messing up the point that the identity, but notice the being our company, we try to get your identity. And I'm telling you that I never used the illness in my life. Let me write. I never used the illness in my life. We made this name up. And it's sad that they know me some more. We're going to go Proverbs speak like you know me and say, we got to do it anyway. That's part of the process. When you come back, you go get to that, and they never do that. But you could have changed the version from the start.
Right. So how long have you?
That's how it is.
How long have you been incarcerated?
Over 21 years. Over 21 years.
And I do know his mother. I mean, not his mother. I'm sorry. His wife is a part of a group here in Baltimore called People's Power Assembly, and you know, I was looking at the case and everything, and so the officer that actually set him up and gave him this alias name and all of that, the officer was charged for doing this to several people. I think it was a year or two ago. And so Daria, huh? Right, for extortion. Yeah, for extortion. He was locked up for extortion. So he has, you know, with PPA, the People's Power Assembly, they have found out that he did not do the crime. So he's actually been sitting in jail for 21 years for a crime that he didn't even commit, he wasn't a part of. And so that's what his wife is fighting for now. And I'm glad you all are on so you can talk to these brothers, you know, and encourage them and just help them along the way, because I can imagine for him, it has been frustrating to not see his children grow up, not see his grandchildren. His wife has been sick. She shared with us that she had brain cancer. She's been sick. So it's been a lot going on with him sitting there. And so they're fighting. People's Power Assembly, the attorneys and everything are now fighting to try to get Daria out. So, Mr. Salim, I want to give you a moment to speak to both of these brothers.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Good. I definitely was inspired by Joseph's story, and it showed the growth of a man developing himself behind the walls. I'm going to say in spite of where you at, in spite of what the system dictates. You seem to be involved in programs that's designed to cultivate who you are, people person, trying to help somebody. In my earlier days incarcerated, I spent my time doing negative things. You probably been in better shape to help me out. But you come to a point where you self-actualize and you see that the people around you don't have your best interests at heart. By that, I mean the criminal justice system. This is not to condemn the whole system, but in the majority part, It's a program they have to incarcerate and to keep the wheel going, keep it turning. That's why it's easy for some to get out and hard for others to get out. You would imagine a man in your shoes doing the things that you do, that would be consideration in and of itself, regardless of the crime. I mean, the changes you've made, the contributions you make it. But that's not to the interest of the system. I can remember correctional officers coming up to me, whispering to me. He said, man, this is when I made my change. They said, man, you don't belong in there, man. You definitely don't belong here. You don't fit this script no more. But unbeknown to me, I was just trying to grow. I was trying to survive, to see this thing through. I know that they did not have my interests at heart. And when I began to see that, I knew that I had to make a way for myself. So that's why you have to change. And I see yours is genuine. I'm going to tell you, you're going to get to a point where you'll see that, and it's not to discredit you, Joseph, it's to say that you are part of a bigger picture, man. Unbeknowingly, man, people are watching you. People are taking lessons from you. People are letting you lead the way for them, even if they don't tell you. They are watching you. And it's going to come a time when they're going to set you out there to set the example, because the institution tell you that they need your help. The court's going to tell you they need your help and find a way to get you out of here. So what you need to do is be consistent in what you say you are. And that's why I use the word genuine, because you can't expect them to turn when you want them to turn. It don't work like that. Here go a man was just on the phone. He's innocent. 21 years in prison. They know he's innocent. How is he going to get out? They want him to get out the same way he came in, through the court system that put him in prison in the first place, an innocent man. So he has to develop himself, get his constitution right in his head about what he's going to do with himself and his life, and be prepared to go when the time comes. It's better to be prepared and miss an opportunity than get an opportunity and not be prepared. So we always use the term soldiers because we always train and trying to move ahead, but it ain't just about the physical aspect. Like Yaya was sharing, man, it's that mental trauma you go through in that spot, man. If you give yourself to the prison, then you become a part of it. So I like to leave with this statement about being genuine. I was incarcerated myself. I stayed in the Maryland Penitentiary and Jessup Cut and the old jail and the new jail. I've been down Patuxent. I've been to MCI. I've been to MCIJ. I've been to about 20 prisons. And I stayed in there 42 years.
Wow.
Straight.
Wow.
I'm not talking about no weekend and free release. I'm talking about maximum security. I went in, maximum security, I came out. But I associated with people who are like minds, who was trying to develop themselves to succeed and help somebody. And the more I reached out to help other people, people just started taking notice and started trying to help me. There were forces working behind the scene that I didn't even know about on the other side of the wall that was helping me get out. I know you're familiar with Dunga case. I raised that petition in 1976. They told me it was an error, the jury instructions. He also told me it was a harmless error, because I was a black guy, really, with a public defender, and I didn't have a real voice. So you're going to come up against a lot of opposition behind the wall, because you're kind of like almost helpless in some respects. But becoming the man that you are becoming now, man, you're on your way, man. And look like you're getting it done a little bit earlier than I did. So I'm saying your path might be a little easier. I'm praying that it is. With some strong prayers, and the people didn't get a chance to mention that part yet. But man, I believe in the power of prayers, boy. Because that stuff, that thing more powerful than medicine. You hear me? You'll start off talking it, boy, then you walking it, and they be wondering what's wrong with you. I'm talking about correctional staff will be coming seeking your guidance and your counseling, try to give you some ways to help them get their life together. And you the one they got in prison. But you'll see that it don't fit you, man. You outgrow that place. Keep on doing what you're doing. We got programs in place out here in the community that's designed to help you with your transition. I'm waiting on you. Programs to help me. I work for Living Classroom, Project Serve. We workforce development and training. We help guys, and we pay them while they're in the training. Paycheck every 2 weeks. In 4 months, we'll get you a job.
Is that Salim Alameen?
You ain't got to say the whole name, my man.
Man, you shut me down with days and days and days at a time during the month of Ramadan, telling me to repeat after you.
Man, I got to do what I'm doing because it's like you. I got to get you. You next. You know what I'm saying? We won, man.
Wow.
What,
So, Mr. Salim, Darier was speaking to you. What'd you say,
yes,
Darier?
Darier.
I think when he was at Roxbury in 2011.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
Maybe 2008.
He said he wanted to know if you were in Roxbury. He was with him.
In 2008, I got put out of Roxbury and went to Patuxent.
Okay.
I might have been there because I went there in 2002, I think, Got a lot of numbers, but I've been to about 9, 10 prisons.
Wow. Miss Leah, Miss Leah, Sean, Darier, are you going to call back? I hear that your time is running out. Do you want to call us back?
Yes, the phone had just.
It went off.
I just wanted to thank you for being able to get you guys on as well. You see, my boots on the ground trying to not just get my husband free, it's free of men and women just like himself that don't belong in there, that deserve the section or city chances for them to get released. And I'm out here faithfully. It makes a difference when you have the outside world helping you because it's only so much to do in the inside. So I'm outside for everybody, for people that need a voice. Because all means, I am not an echo. I got a voice in the hell with determination that all press to the side and I'm moving forward because that's what I'm at. All means. Believe what I tell you. I'm boots on the ground and I'm fighting strong because we don't need to be held in a cage like the system is designed to help. That is not working. It's not up to them. They want y'all to be in prison, and that's not. But how do they expect for y'all to change in prison? It's impossible to change in prison. It's impossible.
Well, they surviving.
Let me take the whole 9 yards because it bothers me with this ex-offender. If you don't have nothing set up for them like the program that you're running, that's an excellent program. That's an excellent program that's been around for many years. Utilize it. Let them free them.
All right. Well, let me jump in for a minute. Miss Leah, Sean Gardner wants to call in. Can you get Sean on the phone? His wife is trying to get Sean to call in. Can you call? Can you? His wife is texting me, and she said Sean wants to come on. So, can you just call her and tell her if you're watching, Miss Gardner, call Miss Leah and just get Sean on the phone that way, and Miss Leah can hold the phone up so we can hear him. You got him? Let's see. Miss Leah's muted. That's why I can't hear her.
Connected?
It's ringing.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi. What's wrong?
I'm going to call that number, the 297 number.
What? Call the other number?
Call Miss Leah and just get Sean on the phone that way, and Miss Leah can hold the phone up so we can. All right, I'm clicking him in now.
I'm on the phone now.
She's clicking in.
Sean? I'm gonna hang up and call. Wait a minute.
Oh, they hung up. She'll probably call you back because he's been trying to call in.
Okay, I got it here.
When they call Miss Leah, let me know. We'll cut the conversation because these guys have limited time. And we'll let Sean talk, okay? But we still have Joseph. I think Darier was I think his time, I think he might call back. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I'm gonna leave the line open for him. So I'm just excited about all of this. I'm glad these guys are able to call in. This has been a dream of mine, and I could not figure out how to do it. And it's amazing how God will allow you to run into people. And Miss Leah and I have been running past each other for about maybe 2 years now, and then found out that we have mutual friends. And I shared with Miss Leah what I wanted to do, and she's been great in helping me to figure out how to do it. And it's much simpler than I thought. So, we just have to use these phones and allow everybody to call in. And so we're going to wait for Sean to call back. Joseph, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am. I'm still here, Lady J.
Okay, I don't want to take any time. You go ahead and share whatever it is you want to share with us.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I wanted to Celine, man, like, congratulations, man. I sat out with you, and I really appreciated you. You're always someone that I wanted to emulate for a very long time, man. And I have never once ever heard anything bad, foul, bent, crooked, nothing about you, man. Your name.
That's because I paid them people off, buddy. I paid them people's off, Joseph.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, man. This my team, by the way. This little my team, man.
Alhamdulillah, my team. Assalamu alaikum.
Definitely want to say that, man. That I appreciate you. You ain't Mr. Little, man.
No doubt.
And something for young men like myself to emulate.
Hey, you don't know Yaya?
It happened with the persistence. Now, I don't remember it,
But you okay? All right. I just wanted to get me something that you was giving Celine.
Hey, if I could throw in there to Joseph to let him remind us. Just as a reminder, though, Joseph, I heard Lady J said she had a passion for this.
I
was going to add that we too have a passion.
Right. I did want to say, Joseph, that Celine taught me a lot of things when I was in the penitentiary with him, because I had the opportunity to be there at 954 with him for many years. So I reverberate what you say, man, that, he's an inspiring brother, always been an inspiring brother, full of knowledge, full of wisdom, as well as being a comedian from time to time. And so, it's good brother. He's a good brother, man. He got some good thoughts and some good ideas, and he's doing remarkable things out here in the community, as I know he would be. I just want to say that and share that as well. It's my brother. I love the brother. The brother taught me a lot of things when I was in the penitentiary, man, and I've always been a stand-up brother, good brother, articulate brother. I used to actually go to the services and hear the brother when he was transforming the multitudes of people, when he was on that podium, giving up that wisdom and that knowledge that God had inspired and blessed him with. So I just wanted to say that, add that to the presentation as well.
Now, Mr. when we
is he back?
He's not back yet. Did he call back?
Yes, he said he has to come back on. She's waiting for him to come back on.
Okay, just let us know. Mr. Tyrone, when I was at your meeting, you mentioned that you were in solitary confinement, and I don't even understand, because you said like 8 years you were there.
You talking to me, Little, or myself?
It was a combination of solitary confinement, being in the regular lockup section, as well as being in the administration section for maybe about 2 or 3 years. And all of that to me is solitary confinement, because you're still locked up in a cell 24 hours a day, restrictions on what you can do and what you can't do, things you can have. You can't have no electrical appliances as far as televisions, radios, and all that, but you can have limited amount of food products, as well as just basically a lot of books and materials and stuff like that, your regular hygienic stuff. But then this new thing, Celine was saying that he went all over in different prisons. I went all over in different prisons too, because that's what they was doing with guys that they believe had some type of influence or positive impact on the guys. But those were my days, and I would say maybe 7 to 8 years total in dealing with that while I was in the penitentiary. It was primarily behind the door, because I have no control over this. Caught up in certain activities, as Berlin was saying. But then I just made up in my mind when I was going through those type of journeys of being in solitary confinement, along with administrative segregation and regular segregation, that I had made up in my mind that I was going to make some changes, and it was going to be good changes. And so I just embarked upon the educational road. I believe education is necessary to guide your compass. You know, a lot of people, they move about lack of education. And so I try to make sure if I'm doing things, it's educational, it's inspiring me greater, it's making me reach my self-actualization. I can't be caught up in the lower states and allow those type of things control and manipulate me. And that's what these experiences in solitary confinement, lockup, and administrative segregation taught me, because it's like you was isolated. You're in the cell 24/7. You come out maybe 15 minutes to get a shower, walk up and down at 10, you back in that cell. And so that's every day until you complete your time. So give you an opportunity to adjust, really get inside yourself, do some real reflection, meditation, make some real positive choices and decisions. And it's be determined that that's what you're going to do. You're going to change. See, because when you change your thinking, your behavior going to change. Everything about you going to change. How you relate to people, how you understand things. Now, I'm going to say this. I was at a service and we were speaking to the point of resurrection. It was talking about the physical resurrection and mental resurrection. And our people definitely need mental resurrection. And so whatever we establish right here, right now, is that we can't repeat that. Because once we go on the ground, that's it. So whatever we need to establish concerning our reputation and the impact that we want to have on people, we need to start that process right now and be real about it. We be real about changing, be real about doing all that. And that's what those experiences taught me. Being in there and not having the opportunity to do what I want to do, when I want to do, how I want to do it, being so deprived, not knowing if you go to get a piece of mail, surrounded by people constantly throwing feces and cutting themselves and killing themselves because they can't handle the pain and the strain. All that impounds on your mind the whole time you're there. You got to have or you got to be the captain of your own ship. To say, I'm guiding this ship, but I'm not going to allow those things to basically infiltrate. Because the mind don't know the truth from falsehood. And a lot of people don't believe that. But when you study the anatomy of the brain, when you study different parts of the brain can't distinguish truth from falsehood. It can't. When you're taking certain things in your mind, you have to decide how you're going to respond and act to it, because you got the ability to do it. And if you don't change or you control your own mind, something else going to change and control it. And so that's what I learned from those experiences, that I'm the captain of this ship. And whatever I say I want to do, I can do it. And the only impediment or the only restriction or handicap that I would experience is a result of my own thinking and doubt my ability to do it. Because all those potentials are there, all those abilities are there, and that's what that experience taught me.
That's why I like you, man.
Now I have a message from Joseph. You still there?
Lady J, he's on the phone.
Oh, Sean. Okay.
Sean.
Let's hear from Sean.
You want to? Can he use my phone?
Just hold your phone up, Miss Leah, so we can hear.
Okay, Sean.
Hello.
Hi there, honey. Can he speak into the phone?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm right here, Miss Leah.
Hi there, honey. Can you hear Sean?
Yeah, I can hear everything going on. It's a real positive atmosphere, and I really love it.
Wait a minute, Sean.
I don't know, Miss Lee, you have a lot of feedback. I'm not sure what's going on. Ask his wife if he can call the number that's on the screen.
Just one quick minute, Sean. Lady J, what are you saying?
There's a number on the screen. Ask her if she can call this number on the screen.
Sean?
Yes.
Ask the madam, can she call 443-297-4753?
Okay.
Ask her, can she call that? Now, I'll hold on. I don't want to lose you.
Okay, I'm going to call now.
Okay. She's calling now.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience.
Yeah.
Now, Go ahead, Mr. Salim. Actually,
I wanted to hear Sean, but I'm waiting on Sean. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's coming. She's getting
Joseph's time went off, so he's gone, and Mr. He's calling back.
Yeah, give me one second. I'll make it.
He don't want to miss out on this. He'll call back. Right. God willing.
Daria had to go, so he is not with us. He had to go. So, but we thank him for calling in from Hagerstown. Yes. We want to keep him in prayer. Hopefully he'll be able to come home soon. Okay, so Joseph, I wanted to read something to you that somebody just sent me. They said this is Desmond Hanif Perry from Rectify, and we're watching. Kat and I wanted to send our love to Joseph. He is one of our inside peer support specialists. His lovely wife does family support for Rectify. This is a great show tonight, and this issue needs to be put out at the forefront of attention in the state of Maryland. So that's from Desmond Perry for you, Joseph.
Okay. I heard that, Hanif.
Yes. And Van Green, you are welcome. Tell Daria we're praying for him. We're going to wait for Sean to call back because I've been wanting to interview Sean, so I'm glad he's calling back. Let me read some of these comments while we're waiting. So we have let's see, where was I at? Somebody was asking, how do you call in? Kareem Hassan. The way that you call in is you can dial 443-297-4753 if you want to make a quick comment. You can call that number, okay? Miss Leah, somebody's asking you, how are you? And they said that they missed you, Miss Leah. Miss Leah, while we're waiting for Sean, though, tell us about you because your son is serving a life sentence. So tell us about you and what you do.
Okay, I just want everybody to know what we got hold of here. We got the cream of the crop, and my dream and my journey is we don't need anybody else. We got it. And if I could just get us to all understand that we have the power to make the change that was needed to be made. And these guys blow me out the water with to think of what they have been through and can come out of that and talk about it. I'm still reeling with, I just can't get over it. So I'm just promising this platform will be our platform. We're going to do this. This is our year. We want everybody, lottie-dottie, everybody to know what's going on. And I think a lot of the issues that we have is lack of knowledge, lack of education. And you so modest. I love you to death. But all of you guys, and I'm blown away. You can teach us something. I wish we could flip the switch and have you guys be on those panels that they put you. They bring these PhDs in and HEs, all these letters and they don't have a clue what life is all about.
Look,
to me,
when I was behind the wall,
we have Sean.
When I was behind the wall, Sean is here.
Sean is here. Go ahead, Sean.
Go ahead, Sean.
How y'all doing tonight?
Hi, Sean. Assalamu alaikum.
Speak up, Sean.
Go ahead, Sean.
The president letting me on here tonight with y'all, and I'm gonna listen to the conversation, and it was all positive, and God outside of prison and inside of prison definitely need this platform to be heard.
Awesome. And we're going to be, yes, we can hear you. We just listening at you, Sean. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yep. You can.
Yeah, well, basically, our whole goal for Behind the Wall Mentor right now, we're really trying to reach the youth, try to stop the youth violence in the city, as Baltimore and DC, and we just really want people to help and really connect with us, and anything we can do for our community, that's what we're trying to really do.
Mm-hmm. Now, Sean, I'm gonna talk to your wife, and I'm actually gonna do a show where I have you on so you have more time to share with us, you know, what's going on with you and whatever it is you would like to share with everybody.
I can't really hear you.
Oh, I was saying I'm going to have a show where we can just talk to you and we can hear your story, hear about you, and you get to share with us because I know it's been difficult trying to call in tonight, and I want to make sure you have enough time to share whatever it is you want to share with us.
Okay, well, basically, I really want to share with us, like, as a whole, we really need to come together because we lacking that in our community and our fight for the struggle and what we're going through. Like, it's not a big woman that's incarcerated that really don't have a voice to be heard. So, basically, I really try to assist them with being a word of wisdom to the youth.
Mm-hmm.
And how they can assist to give back to the communities because we really had bike drives, like guys use their own instead of going to commissary, then we use their commissary money to donate and give it back to the youth, whether it's bike drives, school giveaways, toy drives, those are sponsoring the youth to have after school activities, stuff like that.
That is really nice. So you guys give up your commissary to help. That's beautiful. I love that. That is really nice. So we have I'm going to ask Mr. Salim and Mr. Tyrone to speak to you because you know, I want them to speak some life and encouragement into you, Sean, while you're on here. So Mr. Tyrone, go ahead.
Okay, how you doing? How you doing, Sean? Can you hear me?
How you doing, bro?
Yes, sir. I heard you make mention of the mentors program, right? I'm the senior mentor specialist for DC and Maryland under the youth advocacy program, and each so I deal with not only youth, but I deal with old incarcerees that's returning back to the DC area that need mentorship and wraparound services, complete wraparound services. And so what we do is we take them through social capital training. That's by chief, the chief advisor for YAT, the Jesus. He's basically responsible for teaching that, teaching and training the guys to establish social networks, to reintegrate back to the community by having them pull out the applications and all the stuff that's needed for them so they can be successful in that department. And the department that I work in is dealing with the psychoeducation, trauma informed care workshops, which the lead facilitator is Dr. Hutchins. And what we do is each week we deal with wraparound services, mentoring services, strategies, and techniques rooted in cognitive behavior distortions, because that's what we believe. We believe that all behaviors are rooted in distortions. And so we deal with a biopsychosocial approach in terms of dealing with the whole being, the brain, the social interactions of the person, the environmental experiences of the person, looking at the person as a total, but a totality. But the thing about mentoring services is it's really hard to get people to change. They have to want to change. In other words, they have to want to change in mentoring service, because what you bring to the table is so necessary and so unique that it can help people while they're incarcerated. And I think it's very essential that they receive those type of services while they're incarcerated. And that's the reason why Salim can attest to this, that we met down at Walter Lomax's house, his estate, and we talked about implementing programs in the system for guys before they return to the community, because education is the key to all of this. You got the experiential knowledge as far as being able to talk about the experiences and all that happen inside the prison system, but having the knowledge and the education to make transformations and leaps to in mentoring and coming out in the community and being prepared to face some of the subject matters I heard about, nothing being there for you, no housing, all the doors being slapped in your face. You have to be prepared for those type of things mentoring wise in the mentorship program. These are some of the things that you're going to be faced with even in dealing with your psychological makeup. So Dr. Hudson's take us through a 16-week program. It's a 16-week program, and each week we deal with a different part. We've determined it's only 3 ways behavior can be ruled or controlled. That's biological, psychological, social. And so we deal with those type of things, and we offer strategies of mentoring. We offer techniques of how you can diffuse certain behaviors. We offer all those type of service, anger management. We deal with those type of things. And once we go through those 16-week program, then you can graduate from our program. So you go through the social capital programs, connecting you back to the communities, making sure you got all of your identification, the transportation, all those things. Then we work on the mental part of you to make sure that you connect back to your family and all these other things, because incarceration has an effect on people. I don't care how much knowledge and wisdom that you get. If you don't address that part, it's going to metastasize over into your professionalism. It's going to metastasize over into your education and your adjustment back into the community. So you have to deal with that part when you talk about mentoring, to make sure that you together. Make sure that you understand your stages of changes. Make sure you're dealing with motivation screening. Make sure you're connecting people back to the familiar structure. Making sure that they make the positive adjustments, and especially if they've been gone a while, how you can basically integrate them back to their loved ones, to their children, to their wives. Because this thing is real big and it affects a lot of people, and we don't really take all that into consideration. So I just wanted to share that that's what we do, and that's my job. That's what I do. And I heard you mention the mentoring services that you're doing, and so this is information that maybe we can exchange some information, and I can send you some materials in there. I can send you some strategies. I can send you some stuff that you really can use, man, to improve. You can give me a copy of what y'all doing there, and I can look it over and make some suggestions and all of that. So I'm available for all of those things. Okay.
Wow, that's
I
awesome.
appreciate it, man. 'Cause that's what we're really looking for, because I really want to get all the mental programs to come together as one, because we can't go by ourselves. And everybody has different outlooks on life within different situations, and they really need to know, the youth really need to know and understand where, because every youth not coming from every situation that everybody came from. So we have a team, a whole team of men and women who came from where they came from. That's a positive outlook for them and explain to them. So that.
But let me build on what you're saying. Why it's like that? Let me tell you why. Okay, because nobody understands human behavior. Now that may come as some surprise, and that's the reason why when you study the history of psychology and you study the history of all of these different approaches or what are the causations of human behavior, everybody got a different opinion and approach about it. So what you have to do, you have to be eclectic. You have to take those eclectic attacks and extract what makes you better and not focus on that other stuff, because it's just too many theories. It's just too many approaches. It really is. And so what cognitive behavior done, I believe, is revolutionize all of those theories, all of those behaviors, all those different approaches, man. It's in your thinking. It's the way we think. It's the way we reflect. It's the way we act, the way we respond to situations. And once we change our behaviors and our thinking, we're going to be better. But we got to adopt our own approach, get back to our own roots, get back to our own culture, get back to our own ethnicity, get back away from all of these other concepts that's defining us, and we define ourselves, man. That's what we got to do. And so you got great doctors, man, that came forth with different ideas that help us, man, that make us better, Black psychology that makes us better, the greatness in our own ethnicity, but we adopt all of these other crazy things that take us off course from our culture, from our cultures and our root and our relationship with families and friends and all ever. That's what we got to get back to the root of. So when you say that, man, there's so many changes, there's so many different concepts, it is so many different concepts, man. And what you got to do, you got to pull from that, pull from those concepts and apply those portions that make you better. and say the rest of this stuff is garbage. Experiential knowledge is the best knowledge. It is. But you also have to have some academia there too and know exactly where you're going at with all of this.
Right. We have a caller on the line. Caller, go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, caller.
I still hear Yaya talk.
You need to turn whatever you have on in the background, turn that off, and then we'll be able to hear you.
You hear me?
Yes, go ahead, because we have these guys, they're on limited time. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Kareem Hassan, and I'm the baby of the bunch of the uncles. Because I was 17 when I went in, I was 54 when I came out. And to pivot off what Yaya was saying is, Al saying is, when preparation meets opportunity, you get success. So you have to prepare yourself, no matter the situation you in. Like the brother that's in prison for something he didn't do, he still got to prepare himself. So when the opportunity for him to get out here, he'll be ready for it. He don't want to come out here and go back. So you got to prepare yourself for when the opportunity presents itself and you come out here, you'll be prepared for it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So that was the pivot off of what Yaya said.
Okay, and thank you so much for coming on tonight. We have to get you on.
And Salim and Miss Leah, love y'all.
Love you too, Hassan.
All right,
so they come.
All right, thank you. Joseph, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, Lady J.
Okay, so we don't want to lose these guys. So, Mr. Salim, you go ahead and you talk to these brothers as well. We got a few minutes left.
I want to, Yaya kind of made a segue for me in that we don't want to, and I'm not trying to, guys behind the wall, be strong when you hear me say what I'm saying now. It ain't just getting out, right? It's getting out and staying out. Because if we say the same mindset, then that's what they use against us. They already know how to play us with that. When I say they, I'm talking the system has things in place for guys who want to do the merry-go-round and keep doing the same thing. So you got to implement your program just like you're doing, the development of yourself, working towards getting free. There are a number of programs out here that's going to help you transition. We're connecting with you now. I've been permitted to go back inside the prisons. I was shocked. Wasn't scared, but I was shocked that they let me back inside the prison. I've been in about 4 different prisons as a volunteer. So I can get in touch with you and show you what's going on out here and can keep the network going so that when you get here, we have things in place to help you with your transition. That's what happened for me. Somebody helped me get transition. And I'm still going through transition. As Yaya said, man, if you don't affect it and make it change your mind, you have the same mindset. And when you fall on hard times, we result back to what we used to do. So you're just going around in circles. So you want to be successful, man. You're on the right path. And even though the walls and the bars there and the fences there, I'm going to tell you something George Jackson said. He was in a California prison, maximum security. They put him inside a hole in the ground. And you know what he said? When he hollered next door to another guy that was in the hole, he said, I'm thinking about getting out. The guy said, man, you can't get out no hole in the ground. We're already in prison. We're so that. He said, no, but you got to first think about getting out and get it. So he was developing the mindset about wanting to be free, getting out. But then it's thinking about what you're going to do when you get out. So I'm thankful that we got some programs in place that's going to help you when you transition, because that's what I work for. I work for a program to help get you a job, help you get your credentials, help you get connected with your family. And let me tell you one more secret. When we're talking about mentorship, it ain't just for you and me. It's for our families too. I got a friend did 50 years. His people call me all the time because he spent a lot of time alone upstairs in his room. He gets his food. He goes upstairs in his room. They'll call me and say, man, what's wrong with James? He don't never want to come out. He's antisocial. I said, no, ma'am, he's not antisocial. He's just used to being isolated, and he likes a peace of mind. This is a man who's been a single cell for about 50 years. So it takes a minute for him to reach out to the little baby. What's her name? Dean Dean, and all these names they gave him, and little ping pong head Larry. And, you know, he don't know them people like that. He just learning this stuff. He only been home about a year or two. I've been home almost 9.5 years. I like riding in the back seat of the car so I don't have to drive and I can just watch and take in the scenery. I'm still taking in this freedom, man. I'm loving it. And I ain't complaining about nothing. Like you, Lady J, my passion
Yes.
is to help somebody stay free. That's my passion. Help somebody stay
Right.
free. Not just get out, but help them stay free.
Wow. Now we have
I had a question, Lady J, if you don't mind.
hold on one second.
I got a life, so I tell the kids leaving every day, man. Stay free, man.
Wow.
I heard that, bro.
We had
Appreciate
Joseph
that.
wanted to say something. Joseph, go right ahead.
Yeah, what I wanted to ask Salim and Yaya, is there a way that you guys can help make that transition to actually get into a program? Like, what do we have to do? File a modification? 8505. What is the avenues for that?
Started off, Yaya.
Yeah. You say is there any programs can do what now? I didn't hear the last part.
No, what
Like
I'm saying,
programs.
how do we get involved? How do we get accepted? How do we enter into the program that you guys had? Like,
Well, with the program I deal with is the program I deal with is stationed in DC is a federal grant, so I work for the federal government, and what it does is just it's either court ordered or the guys can automatically locate us, but they have to live in the DC area as far as that's concerned. However, in answering the question about programs preparing you for the community and all, I think that if you filing something in the 501c, if you filing someone in the 8-5 mental health hygiene package, and these are some of the requests that you are making, then the court can order you to a program that are offer the type of services they believe to further help you along those lines. As far as programs that actually are available that you can get into now based in your posture, I don't know any, I don't have any knowledge about that type of stuff. Maybe Salim can run some services of that.
okay.
But I'm just saying that that's basically the way that it has to be done. Usually if you file a petition, you ask the court to put you in such and such a program
Possession,
as a condition or concession of your release, then they'll go ahead and enroll you in that program, court ordered. I do know that it's a program when you do file for modification under the hygiene, mental health and hygiene, that I do know a brother that had the first halfway house in Baltimore City. That if they was the court order you in that, if you was to file and you in Baltimore City and they court ordered you in that, then that would be something that you would automatically go through as far as integrating back into the community. Other than that, I don't know anything about it, bro.
I could throw in there what you should do is start yourself a profile. Now your profile will be laid out, and it gives case history about who you are, what you've done, and what you intend to do. Then in turn, you file into the court the petition you just mentioned, 8505, and if the court approves it, then the parole commissioner will make sure you get there. Once you're in that program, and they usually make you stay about 6 months, I go in God Denzi and all of them, then we can pull you straight out of there and get you working while you're in the program. Therefore, you can earn some funds while you're in the program that 6 months, and you can get yourself stabilized while you're still in the program. But that's why I'm saying we have to like be connected so that the courts will see what's going on. That's why the courts actually, you know what? The court has actually referred people to some programs out here that's run by ex-offenders. Why? Because of the success in their work. And that's what they need. They need outlets where they can reach out and help somebody. And the majority of people that I know that have been released from prison have been consistent because we network, we stay in touch with each other. You know, we're trying to like develop ourselves. We ain't finished. We just getting started. Man, there's a whole lot going on out here. So you got the time, man. I can get the packages ready for you, and they call profiles. And all you need to do is what? Fill in the blanks, answer a few questions. And this is just an analysis of yourself.
You want me to express your thoughts, Salim? I gotta go. Salam alaikum,
I'm sorry.
Thank you for your time. Brother Yaya, salam alaikum, thank you for your time. Lady J, thank you for your time. Mama Green, thank you for your time, and all the listeners, man, that tuned in.
Mama Green.
I really
Mama Green.
Listening. And all I ask, and I beg for y'all, please, to go rule and vote tomorrow on House Bill 1180, the Youth Accountability and Safety Act. We try and get that felony murder abolished. Y'all have a good night, and
All right.
I really thank you.
Okay. All right, brother. We love you. Hang in
And
there.
pray. And pray.
You are welcome. Anytime you want to call in, let me know.
Okay.
All right.
All right, baby. I
Love you too. All right. You know, so that was Joseph. I'm going to there's a video I want you all to go watch too, so you can hear a little more about his story. We have a caller also. Now listen, guys, because this show, I'm telling you, this is your first time on, but this show takes a life of its own. And it's been times I've been on here for like 3 hours doing shows, and I'm tired tonight, so we're not doing it tonight. But we do have a caller. Hamza was a guest on my show a few weeks ago. He was formerly incarcerated. So welcome, Hamza. Go ahead and say what you want to say.
Wa alaikum assalam, Hamza. Welcome. Good to hear from you.
I'm watching you brothers right now on my TV, you know, and Mr. Gray,
Miss Leah, it's Willie Hamilton, he said. Can you hear him?
Oh, hi, buddy. How you doing? I cannot hear him. Can he hear me?
He can hear you.
I hear you.
Fine. Thank you. I'm just elated. I got all my. I tell you, we don't need nothing else. We got everything. Lady J, she's offering this expertise in this. We're gonna do this. Is just a start. And before we go, Lady J, I would like to mention that I have a meeting coming up the first Saturday. May I?
Yeah, let me get Hamza in, and we still have Sean on, so I want to make sure I get them before.
Okay,
get
go ahead.
Go ahead, Hamza.
I'm not going to be long, right? I just want to, you know, these 2 minutes on here today, man. You know, I remember being in there with them when I was a young guy, and them like schooling me and teaching me how to navigate the system, right, and the network and so on and so forth. So, just listening to what you guys are saying about, man, navigating this system and networking, and us coming home still doing the same thing, being around each other in that type of way, giving each other support. This is what it's about, you know. And all the guys that's still in, let them know, man, that when they come home, they want to do something productive. There's a means out here for them, you know. And I just want to, you know, show my give my appreciation to you guys for everything that you all do. You too as well, Mr. Green and LadyJ, all of you. You know, that's it.
Thank you so much. Are you going to Annapolis this week?
Well, I'm kind of busy. They wanted me to go Wednesday to talk about, you know, the public defender's office need bigger budget, you know, so they can facilitate and help the guys. I'm going to try to see if I can get a few doctor's appointments I got to do this week. Me to make it.
Well, thank you for the times that you do come down. And let me tell you all something. Those of you who are listening and watching, this brother, when he speaks, he is so powerful. And I didn't know him. I was actually in one of the sessions, and he was speaking. And I said, I got to go talk to him. I got to find him, because I was so impressed with his testimony, the way that he was speaking, the way that he was dressed. And it's so important, because a lot of times people assume when people come out, you know, they're looking like they just came out, they don't know how to talk, and, you know, and they lack a whole bunch of things. But he came in there with power, and he had those legislators' attention. So I just want to give a shout out to you, brother, and tell you to keep doing what you're doing. And we appreciate you.
Well, it comes from these two gentlemen right here. I mean, you don't understand, like, in-depth conversations that I used to have with these two gentlemen right here.
Wow.
I'm telling you, like, I picked y'all first before I met Celine. And what we used to talk about the law, and what we used to talk about getting home, about being productive members of society. And then I met my brother Tyrone, who I always used to hear about. I never had a chance to meet him. Then I finally get to meet him. And then he uplifted me with my spiritual aspect. And then he always had a positive outlook on life, no matter how much time he did in prison. He was inspirational. You know, these two men were very inspirational to me. And so give a kudos to them. You know, they help me shape who I am today. You know,
Amen.
Every day, every time I see you guys, y'all bring so much joy to my heart. Just know where y'all at today and how y'all help people. You know? Thank you.
Thank you. Anything you guys want to say to him before he goes?
Just keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Soon, bro.
Just keep doing what you do, bro.
I appreciate it. All right.
Okay, and we thank you so much, Hamza. We have I want to get before he gets cut off, I want Sean to go ahead. Is there anything else you want to share with us, Sean, before we close out? Sean, you still there?
They cut him off already.
Oh, they did. Okay. Yeah. Let him know that he is free to call back. You have my number now, so call me anytime he wants to come on. You call me and let me know. I own the station, so we can do a show whenever you want to. So you just call me, and we'll get him on. Okay.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome.
I appreciate everybody for everything that y'all did.
All right. You take care of yourself.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye. And this is also why I want to get the missus on here to talk to these women. Where'd she go at? I don't see her on the screen anymore.
She walking around getting the grandbaby ready. We get ready to take the grandbaby.
Well, tell her I'm going to give her a call because I need to get her on because I really want to do a show with her because I get a lot of women who call me whose husbands, fiancés, boyfriends are incarcerated. And I need somebody on here who can really speak to them. Somebody that's gone through that.
She's the president. She's the president or active person in the branch of what we have what we call the Family Incorporated, and she basically is the president of that. And they did a presentation on Dr. Humphrey's show, addressing the same Dr. Ragley's show rather. Addressing the same issue that you are talking about. So I'll send you a video recording of that program.
Awesome.
She already did. Yeah, so I'll send you a recording of that. So she moving around. I'll let her know you're gonna call. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
All right. Yes, and Dr. Humphrey says to tell both of you hello. By the way, I think he is watching. So we only have a few minutes left. And Miss Leah, I want to start with you because I know you wanted to share something with us. Go right ahead.
Well, thank you for the time and honesty, guys. I love you to death. This is what I want everybody to understand. These are men coming out here in the street. And I'm telling you, they're so profound and so on point and positive. It's whispered. They trying to find anybody they working in the school system. They're working around people it's unheard of. It used to be a time you couldn't go near the schools if you was a felon. Now they want you in there because you bringing forth what I'm telling you. It's amazing. And if I have anything, I want to be part of this that bring out this information because so many of us don't understand how hard we working out here. I use myself, but Salim, these two guys you're looking at, they modest, but honestly, they got the respect of the whole community. All you have to do is mention one of them name and they will come to the forefront. So we got the juice we need. We just have to understand the power. And I'm hoping that this is just a start. Thursday night, LadyJ, if you don't mind, I would like to mention we'll be back on the radio with Gwen Levi. She's starting something that we're going to have. You all can be guests. Bring your juice with you and share with people who don't know the power that we have. And somebody mentioned about how, I'm telling you, as we gain the knowledge to share and as we understand that we got the power, I want everybody to know they're policymaker from senator all the way down to delegate. If you ever go to Annapolis, find out what room they in, your delegate. Shake his hand. Let him know I am one of your constituents. Let him know so that when we put a call out, he's going to answer you. He's not going to answer me, but he don't know who I know. So I've learned how to, if he's in, I'm going to call him a knucklehead. A knucklehead is in something, and we know all we have to do is do a little groundwork, find out who his district is. I'm telling you, we got it if we just use it. So I'm asking all of us to come together as one. It's us. I'm hoping we look at this as a movement. This is a movement, guys. And anything that we feel so that can happen overnight if we come together the right way. I'm gonna do a Paul, what is his name? John Lewis on you. We're gonna put up a good fight. A good fight. That's what I'm after. We don't have time. And if you don't have the vision, I'll be the first one to say, I'll see you when we come back through here. Just ease off the side and let us go through. This train is going in a direction, guys. I'm claiming it. And I have to say, you heard he called me Mama Green. That is one of my boys. And he works so hard. He is in so much pain. It's a young man, full of energy. He can come home and work and take care of his family. We know he got a lovely wife. I love him. And I want to do all we can do to bring him home. And it's many like him in there. You'd be surprised. And so it's a joy and an honor to be part of this group. And I'm hoping that we take it to we're going to be something to deal with. And I got my 2 soldiers right here. What a way to start. And Mother J, I messed her name up, so I'm careful. I'm trying not to, but I love you. You've given us a platform. And Celine, you know I'm telling the truth. We ain't never thought we
tell the truth. I'll bear witness.
We're on a national stage.
I'll bear witness.
We ain't going back, Yaya. We ain't going back. So this is it. We're going forward. We're going to bring all the juice with us. And we're going to be something to reckon with. I'm claiming it. And I hope you all claim it too.
All right.
Oh, and I got to say, we have a meeting. I can only speak for Maryland Cure. We have a meeting the first Saturday of every month at the YMCA on 901 East 33rd Street by Zoom and virtual. Some of us want to, mingle, and some of us want to be on the Zoom. So I made a commitment this year, 2023, to do both. So January, February, and this is March. I've been trying to do both. I'm learning. I don't know all this high tech, but I got a genius with me now. So we're going to do this. And I want y'all to give her all the accolades, because without her, I'm not saying it couldn't be done, but this train
getting done.
Is something to reckon with. I'm claiming it.
All right.
So we're going to get it done. We have a caller also. Go ahead, caller.
This is Kareem again. And I just wanted, before we go, just call to get the brothers on the inside some encouragement, picking off of what Yaya and Kareem was saying about keeping a strong mind. Because it was a time when we was in, and I was 2 weeks from going to pre-release. And then Rodney Stokes had shot the woman, his girlfriend, and killed himself. And Glendenny come on and said, life being life, we're never getting out of prison. And at that particular time was one of the lowest points of my life in prison. I was supposed to be going to pre-release, but now I'm saying my life, I might never get out. And that was at the time where I made my wife divorce me, took all my vigilance, told her go on about her business. I'm never getting out of prison. And Yaya come to me, and when Yaya was telling me about the other situation, it was called Stevenson at the time, and Yaya said, boy, just getting us out of prison. Just getting us out. Remember that, Yaya? He said, just getting us out of prison.
Absolutely.
And
that's why
the governor said that we're never getting out of prison. Life means life. That goes to show you, man, that if you keep the faith, stay strong, and stay focused, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you.
All the way up.
God is not the governor. God got us.
Right.
Allah got us. That's why we're here now. And they said we was the most dangerous people to let out. We're going to get out. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But we came out and we proved them wrong. And now they don't put nothing in the papers about us. If somebody gets something wrong, they'll blow it up. But all the good stuff that we're doing out here, you don't hear nothing about it. They don't want to give us our props. But we doing it.
We're going to create our own story. We got our own story.
Right there, we here for y'all. So I just want to give y'all that to encourage y'all to stay strong. Don't ever lose faith.
That's right. And listen, let me tell you something. That's why we have this, and that's why it's important as African Americans that we create our own stuff, and then nobody can tell us what to do. So that's why I sat down and studied YouTube to create my own radio station. So you can't tell me what time to come on, go off, who to have on, and all of that. So as long as I'm here and I'm able to sit in front of this microphone and continue to build on what I'm doing, we will get the word out and people will know the great things that are going on. So, you know, I'm definitely an advocate for this. I have a son, and so I'm always going to be working, you know. And so thank you so much for calling in. I'm glad you're out. Were you at the event on Saturday night?
I was the one that was talking to you.
Oh, that's you. Okay, brother. Good. Okay. Listen. I'm trying to remember all of these names and faces and everything. But thank you. I'm glad you called in. Keep calling, okay?
Me and my wife was the one that was giving the Return to Citizens event.
Right. Okay. Yes, absolutely. So I have to have you and your wife on. I will be in touch so I can have both of you on too.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely before that event starts. We gotta get you on so we can start passing the word about that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Wow. Yeah. I remember you now. I remember. Yes.
LadyJ, please be patient with us. We're not used to this. We're not used to this freedom. You know, we always have somebody stopping the clock and all. So you spoiling us. But we got this, honey. We're not gonna let you down. I'm gonna use my term, trust us and verify, because we know how important that is, and this is going to be a movement. We're gonna make a movement out of this with all of us, and I'm just happy to be part of it. And I got my soldiers with me, and we can't fail. We can't fail. This is beautiful. Thank you for giving the platform to us.
Yes, sir.
LadyJ,
yes, sir.
Before it's over with, you gonna have your own TV show.
I know that's right. Now let me tell you something. If you go to my YouTube page, when I created my station, right, and people were laughing at me because first of all, nobody thought I would be able to do it. But you know, I believe that you can do whatever you want if you put your mind to it. So I sat down and studied YouTube on how to build a station, and it's for us because it's hard for us to get our stories out. And so I studied YouTube for 4 weeks on what I needed to do, how to build it, and all of that. And now nobody's doing what I'm doing in the city, right? So I decided when I did my YouTube page, I said I'm going to call it What Up Baltimore TV, because one day I'm going to have my own TV network.
Yeah,
that's the goal, and it's coming. It's coming. Coming. So and just to put a little bit out there, it's already in the works. That's all I'm gonna say about that. It's already in the works. So you got to speak life into yourself and speak life into what it is that you're trying to do, and don't let anybody ever tell you that it cannot be done. It can be done. You might have to work hard at it, but it can be done. And I want to say that to the brothers and sisters that are on the inside, those coming out. And let me tell everybody what's going on right now on Thursday nights. Miss Leah mentioned it, but I want to give you a little more detail about it. On Thursdays, from 8 to 9 o'clock, we have Miss Gwen Levi, we have Miss Giselle, we have Miss Gail and Miss Etta. Now, all 4 of these women have done time. I had a conversation with them and I said, you need a show. So we're not, I want you to just come and do a show. And so they've been doing their show. I gave them a name. They're coming on from 8 to 9 o'clock, and people are tuning in, watching these ladies. They are powerful. They can speak to women that I can't speak to because of what they've experienced. And so they come on at 8. Now at 7 o'clock, I was doing a show a few weeks ago talking to some brothers that had just gotten out of prison, and there was a guy who was listening like we're doing now, and he had his, I think it's his nephew or somebody who was listening in, and by the time they called me the show was over. So they kept calling. Normally I don't answer the phone, but I answered, started talking to this brother, and I said, do you know how amazing you are? Like, you are powerful. He's inside, and his name is Monty. And he said the one thing I've always wanted to do is have a podcast, but he didn't know how to do it. I said, well, you have one now. So it's 7 o'clock on Thursdays. I want y'all to tune in from 7 to 8, because Monty calls in through his fiance's phone, and Monty and I do a show. But I told him this is his show, and we're talking about whatever Monty wants to talk about. Last week we talked about relationships. You know, how he's engaged, he has a fiance, but he's on the inside. How do you manage that? Those are important things to talk about. And we had that conversation. So, you know, we're going to be doing some really great things. I want you all to also go to this page. Oh, I have it up here now. Go to this page, because this page will actually tell you about all of the bills that are taking place in Annapolis. Look on this website. It'll give you all of the bills that are taking place. Now, this Thursday, I'm going to be in Annapolis, and let me tell you what the bill is this week. And this bill actually pertains to boy, let me get his name right. Not Sean, Joseph. So on Thursday, we're going to be going down to Annapolis, and we're going to be going down for House Bill 1180. Now, this is the Youth Accountability and Safety Act, and this bill deals with getting rid of the felony murder for those under 25. So we need you to come out in full force on Thursday. Now, if you need a ride, the van leaves from Montgomery Mall here in Baltimore. There's a van that leaves. We're there. We leave at 11. And let me repeat again. Even though we're leaving at 11, that doesn't mean we'll be back at 1 or 2. Sometimes we're still down there until 6, 7 o'clock. It depends on when they call your bill. So make sure you bring food, or make sure you bring money to buy food, but prepare to be there all day if you take the van, or you may want to drive your car. But we will be leaving at 11. Miss Leah's down there with us. Miss Gwen is down there. There's a lot of people who are out, and I love it. A lot of men and women who are out are down there, and they are testifying and working for the men and women that are on the inside. So we need you to come out. It's House Bill 1180. Or if you see some other bills, when you look on this website, you might see some other bills you want to go down for. But make sure that you become a part of this system and this network that we're doing. Go ahead, Miss Leah.
Yes, I really want to bring to our attention. Everybody's working. Look, we got responsibilities, and many of these bills, we know it's today. It's over with April the 10th. But right now, I'm trying to get a coalition of people. One can't make it, another one can. Long as we have somebody in that room, it's important for these policymakers to see us, visualize what we don't have to talk. You don't get somebody who are able to articulate. But the idea is, can we come together and get a group that if one can't make it, another one can make it. But we'll keep the momentum going that somebody's in that room if it's important to you. So I'm asking us, please help us to pull that together. And we need to, this is important. You got a lot of nonprofit organizations out there, got big buses. Let's put some pressure on, make them do some of the things they're supposed to do. And this is a good cause for those who can't make it. They don't have cars, along with when they got the justice policy people are doing that bus. But if we need more buses, let's do it. And so I really wish that we could get this coalition. That's important because everybody's not going to be able to make it during the day. They work. But you got some people retired or can't put put anybody in your spot. But see, make it a point to get somebody in that room all the time so that we can get a good show. That's what they look at, the good show when you come in there.
Numbers.
Right,
So,
right. And just remember that we make time for what we want to make time for. That's what I always say. So if you can't be there are other things that you can be a part of.
Yes, somebody a question came across the screen about possibly making the bill 1180
House Bill
retroactive
1180.
instead of making it prospective, right? Well, prospective is meaning that if they change it, it would only apply to the cases that take place after that bill, and it wouldn't apply retroactively to the people who are currently incarcerated. It wouldn't apply to them. So the bill, right? So, speaking to the heart of that, how would that be applicable? In other words, if it's just dealing with prospectivity. The person that's advocating the bill is dealing with prospectivity. They're not dealing with retroactivity. And that's because I don't believe that they look at it as being a violation of the United States Constitution in doing that. Because if they did, it would be retrospective. Because all the cases that were affected by it were using defective statutes or whatever they were using to reach those sort of conclusions. So I don't think that we can get that done in the posture because the person is advocating is only asking for prospectivity in the bill, not retroactivity.
Well, we will get down there, and I will definitely be going live while I'm down there because a lot of times, for those of you who follow me, you see that we go live and we interview those who are some of the attorneys. We interview the people that are down there, those that are testifying. So we'll get some more information when we're down there. If possible, I'll try to get one of the attorneys on before we go down on Thursday, so we can actually find out what this is all about. Before we go, everybody, I just want to go around and give everybody some final words to say. I want to thank you for coming on tonight. This will not be your last time because I'll definitely be inviting you on again. So we want to go around. Miss Leah, we want to start with you. Just give us some final words.
I'd like to say get in where you fit in because there's a lot going on out there. And let's face it, we all can't be all over the place. I commit myself to the lifers issues. So that's me. So I'm just saying, find something. It's something in there that you can have passion about. And I'm going to repeat John Lewis's good fight. We want good fight. And that'll put us above all the fray of a lot of foolishness. So I'm on this train. This is the good fight train. And that's where I'm at. And so that's what I'm saying.
Leah, they can reach you through Maryland Cure, right? MarylandCure.com.org.
Yes. We're working on our website. And like I said, we'll get better, but right now we're working on it. And Saturday, I'm going to still try as long as I can keep these meetings going. And we have information too from experts. We pull in our experts we got. We don't need to go out and look for nothing. They can answer. They just know what we want. So I feel comfortable that. And right now, Maryland Cure is working on the felony murder issues and the husband bill. That's the correctional oversight bill. Wonderful. Right. And Linda Moy, which everybody know, and I'm with the major group. So everybody feels comfortable that that's going to fly. That correctional husband bill, which is the oversight bill, is pretty much locked in. And we have a Democrat and a Republican. Senator Hedelman is a Democrat and Christopher West is a Republican whip. And what I try to bring to the table is bipartisan. We can't do this by ourselves. We need everybody. So I'm going to give all I can and all my energy to making it as bipartisan as we can. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just have to make sense out of what's going on and not get caught up in the I heard the book Okie Doke. It's a lot of junk out there, but we ain't gonna be above that. So that's my spin. Thank you
All
for.
right, Mr.
I got to say this. Thank you guys. What a great way to start out. We got the cream of the crop here. I'm so happy with you guys. I don't know what to do. And to talk about it, and you look good and you sound good, and I'm happy to know you. And thank you for coming into my life. Yeah, and my son's
right.
life. He told me to tell you all that. Everybody, them behind the walls, they're ecstatic. And now we got a face, we got a platform, and they can see we mean business. But we ain't let nothing, don't let nothing mess this up now. We ain't messing this one up. This is too good to be true. And you know I'm telling the truth. We got this.
I heard that, soldier.
We got this. We got this.
Yes.
All right,
Mr. Tyrone, go right ahead.
My closing comments is very brief. I think that this was a very powerful and productive platform. We shared some very educational concepts that I believe help you guys as well as other people who are listening that suffer from these type of conditions. My whole vision is and will continue to be is to unify the grassroots of the communities, man. As long as we can unify the grassroots of the community, man, we'd be a powerful force. And one of the things I always say, if people unite is more powerful than an atomic bomb.
Amen.
We separated in our own individual camps and we continue to do the things that we do individually. We ain't going nowhere with it. Can't do it by ourselves. We need everybody to come together. And I think what Dr. J has did here, man, is very remarkable. It's outstanding. I give kudos to her and all the positive works that she's done and all the educational knowledge that she learned and putting her own radio station together. Where ain't no dictatorial stuff going on telling me what I can do, how I can do it, and when I can do it. And I admire you from that because that's an entrepreneur skill that I need to develop myself.
Ain't no question.
So you know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful that we connected like this together.
That's right.
And anything I can do to service it and making it better, I'm available in doing that. So I just wanted to say that I appreciate everybody. I appreciate the contents of the subject matter, the materials that were discussed. I learned a lot, and I hope I shared some things that you all can use and develop from as well. And I think that's what it's all about. Us coming together like that, to make contributions to help one another, make us more strong and more better.
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead, Mr. Salim.
Long story short, I'm grateful to be here as well. Thanks for the invite. The year is I guess about 1971. I'm in the Maryland Penitentiary. I got an old dude in the cell with me, a white guy. Back in the day, they didn't have walkie-talkies and TVs and all this stuff. They just had a big turnkey, 48 cells on the tier. If you get some mail, they'll call your name. You got to walk all the way up the front of the tier to go get your mail. So my cell buddy, the old white guy, they call his name twice a week. He take that walk all the way up the tier. They open his door. He go get the mail. He come back to the cell, sit up there and read something. And I was saying, my man get plenty of mail. He get mail twice a week. At this time, I ain't getting no mail. But one day I happened to be looking over there on his property, and I see that all his mail got returned to sender. So we opened a conversation one day, and I said, man, you keep writing the same address? He said, yeah. I said, oh, you wrote them knowing that it's going to come back? He said, yeah. I said, why you do that? You wasting stamps. He said, nah, but the pleasure of hearing the man call my name and saying I got mail when ain't nobody else got none. He was writing mails just so to come back to him. But in the penitentiary, guys had ways of him getting some stuff with faith. Something to maintain his sanity. While somebody else might be staring at the wall, he waiting for the man to call his name, that the letter coming back. I mean, I've got cases, I got stories crazier than that, but it's all about maintaining your sanity.
Amen.
So I'm saying, hey, we got a real opportunity here. We got a platform. We ain't used to have this kind of stuff in the past. We write people, they wouldn't even answer our mail. Now we up here speaking to them visually. Them guys calling from prison. I'm still in amazement at that. So Lady J, you really outdone yourself, girl. You got us hooked up for real. Thank you for that, sis.
Thank you so much. And listen, I want to say to both of you, whenever you need to come on the platform, you have my number. Just reach out. You
Thank
know,
you.
it's
Thank you.
yours. You need to do a webinar, a meeting, whatever. I also have on here if you want to come on and do a private meeting where it's recorded. You know, you can do your private meeting. I can send the recording to you. You know, if you want to, whatever, however you want to do it, it's a lot. It's amazing what you can do on this platform. So,
Okay.
you know, just let me know what you need. Same thing for you, brother, you and your wife. You know, let me know what you need. I'm here, you know.
Yeah,
yeah,
because I felt some kind of way. You said you too, Salim and Yaya, and you asked me.
The song, we love you too.
That's Korean. I said, baby boy. That's our baby boy.
But Lady J, we want to protect you now. We want this to last. We're not going now. I'm gonna put the soldiers on point. We ain't having nobody ruin this platform. We are
Agreed.
Now, Mama.
So I'm telling you,
one of us now.
you ain't coming this way crazy. We're
That's right.
gonna form a point. We're gonna get us a coalition. We're gonna screen this, but it's gonna be us. We're gonna be us, and we want this to last. So don't anybody got any other plans? Forget it, because we got
That's
this.
right. I hear you, Miss Gray.
That's right.
Protect this.
Yeah,
So
and
I'm putting them on
notice. Before I close, I gotta say thank you to Miss Gwen Levi, because I've been doing this for about 25 years, like going in and out of the prisons and everything. And I stopped for a little bit. You know, sometimes you get sidetracked and you start doing other things. And I want to thank her because a year and a half when I met her, you know, when she got out, she's just been a friend. She's gotten me back to my passion. Sometimes you walk away, you know, and things have a way of bringing you back. So I want to say thank you to Miss Gwen.
Lady J.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of the devil, my wife just got in the car. She just got off from work.
Oh, she did? Tell her say hi.
I didn't know she was the devil.
I'm good. This beautiful couple, yes. For those of you who were not at the event on Saturday, it was absolutely amazing. And you know what? I didn't even know why. I didn't even know what it was about. I just know Miss Gwen said, "Come on." So whenever Miss Gwen says, "Come on," I just get in the car. So I was sitting at the table with Miss Leah, and I said, "I don't even really know what this is about." And she had
mother, listen to me, ladies. I'll be Gwen's first guest Thursday.
Good.
So, she invited me to come in, and so I'll be in the house. And we're not gonna let this stand. We got a good thing. We recognize it, and we all gonna bring our juice to the table, and this thing goes all over the place. So I will be with Gwen. She asked me to be her guest Thursday evening at 8. So I'll be starting it out, and we're gonna be. I'll let her tell it. It's her show. Gwen will be in her glory with her. I'm so proud of her. She's fed. She got to let her tell her story. But I will be there as her guest Thursday night.
Yep. So make sure you all tune in. I will be on the screen. I'll be in the back.
There.
But make sure you all tune in. That's 8 o'clock on Thursday. But I'll be sending out the flyers and all the information. And make sure you come down to Annapolis if you can on Thursday at 11. We'll be leaving from Montgomery Mall. And thank you everybody that I couldn't get to who wished me happy birthday. I appreciate it. It was yesterday. I turned 60, so I'm, you know, in that 60 and over club now.
Welcome.
Good evening, my brothers. Good evening, Miss Great. I love you.
Good night.
Talk to y'all later. Come on, join us Thursday.
Yeah, so everybody, great night. Have a blessed night, and thank you so much for coming on.
Lady J.
Yes, sir.
Hey, my wife want to say something to Miss Greer.
Oh,
okay,
go ahead.
I just wanted to say hello and I love you. That's what I wanted to say. And I was telling my brothers, I love y'all. Be safe. And you know what our motto is. Failure is not an option.
Amen.
That's right. You know that. Love you too, sis.
Hey, Tori, join us Thursday. Tori.
All right. Got to go.
All right, you guys. Have a great night. I will talk to you soon. Just wanted to let you know that the host of this show appreciates the time that you've spent with them. Now, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with everything that we're doing. And most of all, thank you for tuning in to What Up Baltimore online radio, where the people have the power.